So you can make 10K this month without having to quit your job and without having to dedicate 10,000 hours worth of work, okay? And when I first leveraged this workflow that I'm gonna go through in this video, my goal was exactly the same. I wanted to make 10K in 30 days. And what I actually found by the 31st day in this process was that I actually surpassed my goal and I brought in 14K in cash collected, okay? So if you don't know me already, my name is Otto. For the last 6 years, I've run an agency that I've scaled through Productization. We've worked with hundreds of different companies and brands all around the world. And I make these videos simply to help you double your prices, close more clients, and leverage the same strategies I've used to productize and automate my service delivery. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump into this video. I'm going to go through the whole workflow and stick around to the end because I've got something around the 3/4 of the mark way through this video. I've got something special for you. All right, so what do you need to do in order to make 10K this month, right here, right now? All right, and we're going to start this process right now. The first thing that I wish I knew when I first started out was that I needed to get exposure. And the quicker that I was to generate a minimum viable audience, the easier it would have been for me to actually close clients and generate money, okay? So if you're sat there and currently nobody knows you and you don't know anybody, you don't have an audience and you don't have a list of leads or a sort of addressable marketplace that you can actually go and do business with, then you need to generate that quickly, okay? So the first step here is exposure. Now, it all comes down to your personal preference. And what I would kind of say is you're gonna actually have to put your preference aside at some point, all right? So you might not like social media. For example, when I first started out 6 years ago, I hated social media. I didn't consume it. I didn't want to be a part of it. But over the years, it got to the point where I was really denying myself and my business growth from something that really was stemming from my own personal bias, okay? I just didn't like to use it myself. And then I kind of extended that to my business where I said, you know, I don't want to use it for my business, which made no sense, all right? So the sooner you get building an audience, the better, okay? And you've probably heard of this concept of true fanship, that you only really need 1,000 true fans in order to create a business that generates a minimum of 6 figures every single year. And what it works out to in the numbers is actually 1 new fan every single day over a 3-year period, okay? Maybe you're sat there watching this and you don't have 3 years. I definitely didn't when I first started out. So maybe you want to do it in a year, 6 months, whatever it might be. Well, you just know based off of these numbers that instead of just 1 fan a day, it's going to have to be 3 fans or 6 fans, whatever it might be, all right? And what we can do here is basically interchange fan for lead or, interested prospect, okay? And now when I first started out, I didn't do any of this, all right? And it's something that I don't regret, but now with, having a small audience like I do, I'm seeing firsthand the benefits of having content out there and having fans and followers and an audience that values the content that I put out and that comes inbound to our agency wanting to work with us, okay, where we practically don't have to do any work to bring them on as clients, all right? But when I first started out, it all came from outbound lead generation, all right? So if you're sat there, you've got nobody that you can sell to, start generating an audience and start generating leads. The next thing you need to focus on, all right, to generate 10K this month is distribution, all right? And I want you to be clear on something. An okay product and better distribution will always be a better product with worse distribution, okay? So you might have the best product in the world, your offer might be incredible, but if you're not getting the exposure that you need through the correct distribution channel, you're going to be usurped and surpassed by hundreds of other competitors who are doing a worse job than you are. Their branding is worse and their products are weaker, okay? You have to focus on distribution. And if you're building an audience, it's best to pick one and then spread out across the other platforms when you've got leverage and scale, all right? So for us at the moment, we are using YouTube organic purely. We don't run any ads. That's how we get all of our inbound is through YouTube. And then we repurpose, not as much as we should, but across other platforms where we know our B2B audience is likely to hang out, all right? So instead of putting out lifestyle content on Instagram, we'll put out tweets, posts on LinkedIn, whatever it might be, to kind of cross-check where our audience is hanging out and trying to generate leads that way, all right? But the primary distribution mechanism right now is how you are consuming my content and getting in contact with me from that first touch point perspective is through YouTube, all right? So pick one. If you want to copy what I'm doing and get the results I recommend YouTube, all right? The third point here that I wish I would have known earlier, and which is going to help you generate 10K this month, is cash flow. All right. So as an agency owner, there's going to be 101 different things that you feel you should be dedicating your time to. But if you don't dedicate the majority of your time to revenue generating tasks, then you simply won't generate revenue. All right. So instead of spending hours or weeks on creating a logo or building a landing page or optimizing your cold email scripts, whatever it might be, you have to focus on the activities that will generate you cash. Okay, so if there's a lead in your pipeline right now, or there's somebody in your family or your network that you know would actually work with you and pay you to work with them, then pick up the phone to them. All right, maybe you've got an email response from a CEO that you've asked advice from and you've not replied to them yet. Reply to the email, try and book a meeting, all right? Focused on those revenue generating tasks, and that's how you're going to ramp up cash flow quickly, all right? We can focus on scale later. Now, we're on to the fourth point here. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so TAMS, total addressable marketplace, all right? Or total addressable market. And what you want to focus on here when you first start out, or indeed if you're trying to generate cash quickly, is not reinventing the wheel. Okay, so what you want to do is leverage existing marketplaces, because within those existing markets is basically a proof of industry and some sort of proof of service market fit or product market fit. Okay, so instead of spending and wasting months, if not years, on creating the next best thing since sliced bread, go into those marketplaces that already have a lot of competition and see what you can do better, all right? Because what you're not going to do then is create a load of risk and a load of time that you might fail by finding out that actually this grand idea that you've been working on, there isn't actually a market that you can sell it to, all right? So go where there's lots of fish in the sea, and then you can refine your processes to better scale afterwards, all right? If you don't, and if you haven't found a market that you can address and it's not large enough or it's not qualified enough, keep reiterating on this, all right? Keep doing research, look up trends, look at competitors, mimic and clone what they are doing, all right? And put your own personal spin on it, okay? But if you have, you need to focus on your offer, all right? I've got loads of different videos on the channel about creating Grand Slam offers. I'm not going to go into that in this video. But what you need to realize now in this month, right here, right now, is that high ticket versus low ticket doesn't exist anymore, all right? And what we are seeing more and more and time again with all of the members that come into our school community and through our high ticket programs is that you cannot just rely on one channel of entry for your prospects like you could years ago, okay? So 2 years ago, 5 years ago, you could have one high ticket offer, book calls to that offer and be successful if it was a good offer, all right? But what we're seeing now with a huge amount of competition in the marketplace is that the best offers are those that combine not only a low barrier to entry, toe in the door offer, like a low ticket community, but something medium to high ticket that they can upsell and then a done for you solution, all right? So instead of just selling information or courses or, some sort of system or scalable, body of resources, you also need to actually do something physically for your clients and your prospects. You need to build something of value for them, okay? Now that might seem overwhelming and difficult, but again, I've got other videos on the channel with all the build and release content I put out. I show you exactly how to do that, all right? So high ticket or low ticket, it's a yes to both, and then you've got to focus on the value ladder, okay? So what you will find when you start building an audience is that you will get an inundation, hopefully, of leads who are at every different stage of their business genesis, okay? So if you're working B2B and you're selling a service or you're selling information to another individual who runs a company or wants to do what you're doing, whatever it might be, those individuals are going to be at different stages of their growth, okay? Now, we know that there's riches in the niches, or niches as we say in England, and we know that if you try and sell to everybody, you'll end up selling nothing to nobody, okay? But putting that aside for one moment, what you've got to try and do is find angles where you can deliver value to everybody along across that spectrum, okay? And the way that that's done and why that's important is that if you create a product initially that actually cuts out a huge significant chunk of that total addressable market, you're basically leaving a load of leads on the table that will forget who you are and not engage with your business. Okay, but if you create different angles, if you come up with creative solutions that can actually deliver value to everybody along that spectrum, it's just a matter of time before they start actually engaging with you financially and start paying you for your products and your services. Okay, so we've run high ticket offers in the past. We've turned away a lot of individuals. Now we've rolled in the majority of our high ticket programs into a super low ticket school community. Now all of those hundreds of individuals that we basically had to turn away and say no to, we reintroduced a new offer, and we can say to them, look, everything that you wanted to get access to then and you couldn't, you can get access to now. You can cancel any time. You just pay for 1 month up front, and it's a few tens of dollars to get in. All right. So it's a combination of those three types of deliverables that you need to factor into your service and deciding on what your service is this month. All right. From there, and this is something we did with our agency, what you're going to want to do is productize, okay? And what productize means is taking your service, taking all of those hard to scales or impossible to scales, hands-on, manual, physical work, and packaging them into something that represents a tangible product, okay? Something that's easy for your ideal client profiles and for your prospects to understand and to pay for and to see where that value exchange is, okay? It's something that's going to help you spend less time on creating proposals. It's going to make you more money. It's going to increase your profit margins and it's going to decrease your variable cost. It's going to make things a lot more predictable, okay? If you don't know how we did it, we did that with our e-com email agency. We went from that traditional retainer-based historical model to actually delivering something that was highly, highly productized, automated to around 95 to 97% now that it is today. We still run it, where we actually deliver a whole system, a whole infrastructure build, as opposed to spending days, if not weeks, on creating proposals, trying to close clients and delivering retainer-based services over a number of different months, okay? So I've got loads of other videos on the channel detailing how we did that, but something here, once you get to this process here, or this stage in the process, you're going to have to focus on productizing, okay? And what this is going to help you do is systemize. You're going to rely on less inputs, less stress. It's going to be easier to scale. It's going to really reduce and simplify your internal operations, and it's actually going to help projecting cash flow make that a lot easier, okay? It's going to make projected cash flow clearer to you in the business, all right? So if you are successful doing this, or in comparison, if you're not successful doing this, what you want to do is go back to the offer, okay? And focus on an offer that you can bring in high ticket, low ticket done for you, create a value ladder, and then productize, okay? And if you can't do that, keep reiterating this process, build upon it, refine it, and I promise you'll get to a stage where you can properly productize your service, all right? We help you do that in the community if you want to join, if you want us to help you do it. If you are successful doing this, what you then want to do is focus on long-term partnerships, okay? Now, what we do inside our community is help you guys who are in the agency space. You're trying to build your wealth through running a marketing agency, but you're up against and you're running alongside a lot of competition saturation. What we help you do is close your first ever 100K per year client deal and build a business that generates you cash flow of in anywhere between 1 to 3 million in ARR, okay? And we do that by helping you close only 3 to 5 clients on an annual recurring basis, where you don't continually have to try and bring on more and more clients to feed the machine and solve your churn problems, all right? So once you've successfully scaled your agency, once you've successfully productized it, productized your offer and systemized everything that you're doing with your service delivery, what that's going to do is free up a ton of your time, which will enable you to go after ultra high ticket clients, CEOs of companies that are making 100 million, 150, $500 million per year, where you can partner with them on a long-term basis, right? It might seem like a relatively foreign concept. And again, watch all the videos on my channel. I'll show you how to do that, okay? Now from there, we've talked about scale a little bit. Now my approach to scale is different to probably anybody else's you've seen online, all right? So the way and the kind of purpose behind actually wanting to scale one of my offers or my business is really based on happiness and fit for me personally, okay, and my team. I don't want to have to bring on hundreds of employees and have a physical brick and mortar premises. I want to run an incredibly lean and scalable business. I want myself and the 4 other members of my team and nobody else than that, okay? So when it comes to scale, focus on your personal values and what you're actually interested in and enjoy, okay? So from here, if you find that you actually love the idea of low ticket. You love getting orders in the middle of the night for $60 or $100 or $200, whatever it might be, and you don't want to actually scale up a sales organization and sit on sales calls and sell a high ticket offer that's 10K in a day or 4K in a day, whatever it might be, then that really should be the driver behind how you scale, okay? And you might be looking at, loads of different guys' YouTube channels, trying to figure out what type of service delivery vehicle and niche and vertical and model works for you best. But really, the model that will work for you best is the one that you actually find and build out bespoke for yourself, all right? So this is the model that I've created. It's something that helped me go from 0 to 14K within 30 days. It's something that I know will help you right now in this month to generate that 10K, whether it's your first or your next. So drop me a comment below if you haven't already subscribed to the channel. Not that long ago, actually, last week, we launched our new school community low ticket offer. Once you're inside there, you actually get free access to Go High Level 2. So you're going to save yourself $497 per month by just being in our community. And we've got a couple of early access spaces still left, all right? So we're giving away a few early access spaces at 50% off the standard monthly price. If you join and then for some unforeseen reason have to leave the group but then join again, you would have locked in that price, okay? So we will re-entry you into the school community at that initial 50% off price, even if the price has doubled by that point. All right, guys, I will catch you in the next one, and we will speak soon. All right, cheers.